Guys, this is Ryan, it's your friend Russian talking, and this video is gonna be about the pet burst that could do more damage than social justice warriors on the Trump rallies. So let's take a look at this really quickly. I have two pets for me. I'm raging one pet and I'm setting them both out. So by default, the two pets, you see this damage, like 51, 77, 23. Like the pet damage is actually pretty freaking nasty, and we can even improve that damage even further by getting a bunch of other stuffs. By the way, we need to turn off the sound. So I'll show you a few clips here. I'll edit. Well, like I'll show you the burst capability of the pet spec. It is pretty fucking nasty. Okay, so that's a passive pet damage. But what if we actually control that pet damage and increase it? By the way, the specs that we're looking in to get here is Blooded Rune Weapon to get more festering wounds with Unholy Frenzy with a popping on Apocalypse. Basically, the more festering wounds you pop in the beginning, the more actually frenzy you're gonna get. And the more frenzy you're gonna get, oh boy, the more damage you're gonna fucking truck. So this warrior is, okay, he actually wants to duel me. Alrighty. Let's put this pet. And this is the yeah, I didn't even like went fully out. Like I ran out of the globals before I could actually ramp up my burst. That's how pretty hilarious that is. But basically I still had the still had my army to do damage, still had to actually enrage my pet, and had my Dark Arbiter to do damage. So basically, yeah, this is something. So the burst is actually very simple. The way it works is you build up as many festering wounds as you humanly possibly can. And they get up to 8, and then you want to pop them with your Apocalypse. When you pop them, because you are actually going away from your Clawing Shadows, which is basically makes your Scourge Strike 30 yards range, and you spec into Unholy Friends, it basically increases your attack speed for 2 seconds. Which benefits from what I noticed is this guy and Army of the Dead, but not the Skulker. Although the Skulker is really nice. He does a lot of damage, except he's always bugged and we have to relog to resummon him, which is very freaking annoying. So from there, you can go to the Sludge Belchers or Asphyxiate. There is going to be choices for that, and it actually doesn't matter. Because the pet damage from what I've seen is actually remained relatively the same. And for last talent, people go with Inflected Claws, the Crosses, but I actually like Shadow Infusion because Enraged Ghoul actually does a lot of damage. So, with that said, let me show you actually the burst capability of Unholy Decay with Dark Arbiter. So, and it's gonna be ready in 1 minute. Okay, and I am recording, so don't attack me. Let me just show people the burst. So, right, so we have 30 seconds left. So, Dark Arbiter, by the way, is also extremely strong, and it gets up to like 150, 160k hits, which is 10% of somebody's HP. He lasts only 15 seconds, and you need to summon him when you have a lot of runic power. So it's kind of a hero tag, because in the beginning when you try to ramp up the burst, it just looks like Unholy, like if the warrior's burst is like shoo shoo, like this, right? Most of the classes burst when they pop their cooldowns is like this, like a triangle. It goes all the way to the max, then it goes to the min. For Unholy, it's a little bit different. It's a stages. Alright, so let's see if he's gonna accept it so I can actually show the burst. Come on, buddy. Okay, so let's do this. Popping, Blighted Weapon. Enraging the pet. Stacking Festering Wounds. Pet. Well, my fucking god. Pet attack. Popping. You see, 15 seconds of a frenzy. So that's the burst. Okay, let's say you the man. So this is the stuff that I actually he wants to test something. Sure, this is the stuff that I like about the Legend. Basically the way it works is, oh, my deck is fencing. He's freaking old as hell, man. So this is the works. For Unholy, the way I see it is you can have a couple different specs. You can have a melee oriented spec. You can have a dot oriented spec, and then you can essentially have the pet oriented spec. And so far from what I've seen, that actually pets are doing pretty fucking well. The only thing I would change in this spec is actually quite a few things. Dark Arbiter, for example. Dark Arbiter is really nice, but you can also go with a Soul Reaper that gives you 21% haste. Why 21% haste? It's more consistent with your actual Dark Transformation. You can actually enrage, by picking Shadow Infusion, Dark Transformation and Soul Reaper will have about the same amount of time. And 21% haste to your pet is actually a pretty big deal in this expansion. Plus, on top of it, 21% haste will be benefiting from the Skulker from Always Serve. And on top of it, 21% haste will benefit your Army of the Dead greatly. Why? Because every time the army attacks, there's a chance to decrease the healing the target does, decrease the healing the target receives, decrease the damage the target does, decrease the damage increase the damage the target receives. So in that sense, that's basically kind of a toss-up. Dark Arbiter, it hits like a truck, it hits really well, and it's really good to create those kill opportunities. But Soul Reaper is also very nice. So my kind of biggest fear is Dark Arbiter can and probably will be stopped quite a bit. So with that said, maybe sometimes we should just go for the Soul Reaper. So it's an internal kind of a mind struggle / toss-up for me, to be honest, when it comes to picking the two. So here I'm just waiting for the Dark Arbiter to go away, because I'm gonna show you guys Soul Reaper and how it works too. So, and Soul Reaper gives you it's a 15-second essentially duration, so it's actually quite nice. And during that time, I do need to relog. Why? Because the Always Serve pet is bugged. Oh, there you go. So with this guy, basically, so Reaper, let's put it under X. Alright, so we're popping our Blooded Rune weapon first. Make sure you kind of enrage your pet in the beginning. Then we pop Soul Reaper on it, and we proc it. And you see, I get 100%. Look at the auto attacks of my guy. And look at the auto attacks of all the pets. And then basically, because you have such a fast auto attacks, you see how it gets here. Does increase shadow damage, reduces damage target deals, it reduces the healing target deals. Like it's really freaking nasty, like really nasty here. And because you give them so much haste, your pets are just gonna mongo the shit out of people. And by default, it's a really cool spec. It's spec that pretty much focuses on the pet management. It's an apathy of a pet management, and it's actually quite deadly. And this is what I'm gonna be doing. I'm probably gonna be doing guides for they're gonna be at different situations for different specs. Situational guides. That's what I'm probably gonna try to start making, because I feel like that's gonna be a next level of evolution. So with that said, this is gonna be awesome, because oh boy, the pet spec is actually not worthless, and it's worth a damn. I am really happy. Thank you for watching, and до свидания.